So Boeta, I know you don't know me, and I know you hate me already for putting you on the spot. But what I would love is just for us, not necessarily even to get the big motivation as to why you guys are doing what you're doing, but just the scale of it is super exciting. So, and Boeta has also said that he's not famous for his English. So he wanted me to just say that beforehand. I've got this friend, he preaches at our church, he's also a bit of a Boeta. And also when he talks about the Psalms, he always says, I'm going to read from the Psalms. So everything is always the Psalms. So when we say it's a silent P, Chris, but it doesn't work. It's always the Psalms. So Boeta, can you share a little bit about the workings of Anchor of Hope, what it is that you guys are doing?
Yeah, we a non-profit organization that have changed the model of an NPO to a business model where we focus a lot on job creation, but the main focus is sustainability within the NPO itself that creates growth because of the sustainability in the organization. So on the one side, we've got a non-sustainable side that is where people can't work, where we've got a home for pregnant ladies, and then we've got a men's shelter that is sustainable at this stage, and then we've got a food and clothing ban that is not sustainable, but then we've got a business side that creates funds through profits, but we don't pay out the profits. We take the profits and the dividends and push it back to the non-sustainable side, and that creates growth within the organization itself.
Okay, so you've got a shelter for men, you've got a shelter for pregnant ladies. Hopefully you keep them apart from each other. Then you have a clothing scheme as well. And yesterday I also heard about beautifying projects. Charles is very excited about what you guys did at the airport, for example, and at Loch Logan. Maybe just elaborate a little bit more on that.
Yeah, that's our job creation side, where we took hands with local government, businesses, and the community, where we do the work of the municipality basically, and we clean the middle islands, and then we took on big projects like the Rose Gardens and the airport, where companies get involved and they come in a contract with us, and then we clean that side, where through the cleaning we create hope within Bloemfontein.
Okay, can I be cynical? Okay, because I've heard this often when we fix potholes and stuff, but that is the government. Why are we paying taxes? It's their job. You're just covering up for them. How do you respond to that criticism, or do you just ignore it?
Yeah, well, I just ignore it. I think the biggest thing what we saw is in the beginning the people do say that, but the minute things start staying clean, and children can use a park, for instance, and people can land here and it's clean, they forget about what the government was doing, whatever must do. They see that if they get part of something, then there's change. And I think our biggest aim is when we start a project, we usually fund it ourselves until businesses come aboard and see that it's sustainable and there is use of things like, for instance, we focus a lot on parks where children can play. We paint the parks and we clean it. And suddenly the children can play, and then the guy realizes, but, I don't care about the government. If I do something, my children can have a safe place to play, and I can drive to my work and it's clean, and that changes the mindset.
Tell us a bit about Loch Logan. I just remember, I'm not a Free Stater, so I can't claim that, even though I tried my best to look like it this morning. But my grandmother was a professor here at Koffsies, and we used to visit her almost every holiday. And she had this canoe at Loch Logan, and we used to paddle there. And then a couple of years ago, when I visited Charles, I went to Loch Logan, and I didn't want to paddle there. It felt like sewage running around and whatever. And apparently your project has even tackled that. Tell us a little bit more about that.
That's actually a miracle that happened, because what happened, we wrote into a competition, Lotto Help a Dorp, Lotto Land Help a Dorp, and we were chosen one of the towns. And that was our main focus. And the reason for that was because I think we're the only city in South Africa that has got all the major sports centers in one block. We've got the tennis, we've got the cricket, swimming, rugby, everything is in one block. And they call it here in Bloemfontein, a very smart name, a super block. And we decided to, if we can impact that block, we can impact the whole of Bloemfontein. Actually, the whole of Mangaung, because children from the townships comes to town actually to go to the library and see different things, and that's where they stop with the buses inside the parking area to eat. And you've got the gardens next door where they can actually go and sit on the lawns and eat. So we decided to take that project because it impacts the whole Mangaung. And through Lotto Land, they gave us a kickstart, and we started cleaning all the rose gardens next to the zoo. And then businesses came aboard because the rugby, the cricket, we've got big matches here, and then they can use that as well. So immediately when we started cleaning after that, they saw the advantage of cleaning there. And everybody asked us the last time, what about the zoo? When are we going to do the zoo? So we adopted that piece, and when we applied to adopt the zoo, they said no, they're going to open the zoo, and everybody said they will never open the zoo, it's too dirty. And I don't know if people know, but the zoo is opening the end of June again, and the municipality came in partnership with us because of that, what we're doing. And we're still going to do it. They're still not going to pay us for it, but something happened in the hearts of the municipality as well, where they saw, but the community did something, what are we going to do? And immediately there was synergy between us and the municipality. And not only there, in the whole city, we are starting to take hands with the municipality.
It's very exciting. Tell me, Boeta, how there are different ways in which to help a town to fix something. So you can fix a pothole and do it in a very, I want to say, mean-spirited way, and it is just there to expose and to, I want to almost say demean government. But there's also a way of saying, look, we're trying to extend your reach, we want to work together. It seems to me that is very important, because if you are just doing it to expose, if you are just doing it to almost be hostile, then the sustainability of the project will probably not work. So maybe just a word on the importance of this collaboration between community, private, and government.
I think it's very important. I think what lots of us forget is we're easy to throw stones at the municipality, but sometimes when you look inside people's yards and just outside of them, it looks like a oorlog. So I think people must really go and think that we as a team, and that's what's happening in Bloemfontein at this stage. Even with the businesses here, where businesses are going with the government and say, listen, what can we do? Because when you go and sit in front of them, sometimes you realize that they've got a lot of problems, irrespective of what it was or how it became that. They've got financial difficulties, they've got machine difficulties and all of that, and we're very easy to say, but they don't do their work. And money is stolen. But the guy sitting there, sometimes that's heading that department, it wasn't him. Maybe a guy before him or something else. And if you go to him and say, listen, I'm here to help you, the little bit of resources he have, and that's what we've seen, they will put in back and help you. So I think we must just be careful sometimes just to step on people, because there's a few people, and I always say, you know, there's even Christians in the EFF, and we must pray for them as well. We can't only think there's Christians in people doing good. There's Christians in all parties, and they all want the same thing, but sometimes they bind because of finances or resources. And if you come there and say, listen, we will help you with resources, we will help you with this, they're so glad, and the little bit they've got, they help you back with.
It's exciting. Okay, so just to be clear, you've got the shelters, you've got the clothing warehouse, you've got the adopter park thing where you guys are cleaning the parks. What am I missing? Because it seems like you still have Fridays open that you can do something.
We've got factories that one factory, we've got abused women making washable sanitary towels. We make overalls, things like that. And then we've got a furniture factory as well that we make furniture for. And then we're also very big in partnerships.
And the people that you are employing, are they do they come from sort of unemployment, trying to get them into the workforce?
Yes, they are all unemployed. The other thing we decided that, we can't just give people food. We need to give them work as well. And our main shelter works on the thing. They go out in the day, they work. At night, they get paid for what they work for. Minimum wage, we don't do them in. And then they pay for where they stay. So the shelter is a sustainable model. So we try and incorporate them back into society in that way. So our main focus is basically to pick up people and to create work. But what we saw is if we don't create our own work, we give these people food and we make them dependent on us. But the minute we give them work, they create their own income. And at this stage, we're between 70 and 100 people that we're employing on a monthly basis. And through our partnerships, we can keep on growing. And through our job creation, we keep on growing. And that's the main thing. And so we're very high on partnerships. And we've just 3 months ago, we partnered with an NPO called Kingdom Vision, where people come and test their eyes and they get their glasses within 3 days, and it costs them 250 Rand. While when they go through the normal lines, it takes about 1.5 years to get glasses. And there the whole community was involved when churches gave glasses and things like that. So the whole idea or the whole dream we've got is to get a medical center at Anchor of Hope with the food and clothing. And the only way we can do that if we create our own income the whole time. So then we can grow into that.
It's so amazing. At the moment, NHI is a hot topic, right? And that's what everybody's talking about. And there's a lot of anxieties in different spaces. But what I find so interesting is that if you are a middle class, and I want to say Christian as well, and you are just dismissing the NHI, and I also have my reservations, and I'm also concerned. But what else are we putting on the table, right? Like the medical service delivery is not at a good level. So ordinary people need to do something at least. So that's what I find so inspiring about what you're doing there, Boeta. And then for good measure, you also, I'm not sure if you're allowed to talk about the diesel. Is that something?
No, we can talk.
Okay, go for it. Diesel, talk about it.
Yeah, we about 2 years back, we connected with people in Sasolburg where they make plastic turn into diesel and paraffin. It's a father and son. And the miracle about it is if you go to other plants like that, you must add something to actually get to the diesel. But where their diesel come out is straight 50 ppm diesel. And their plant is running at this stage, and they're selling their diesel to Sasol itself. So what we talked to the university, and we got a 30-year lease on the old Proefplaas near to the northern dumping sites. But we need 90 tons of plastic a month. We're busy with all the licenses. It takes quite a lot of time because it's emulsion licenses and I don't know what else. I'm not a very technical guy. But it takes about 1.5 years to get all the licenses together. The plant itself costs a lot of money, and we're already in talks with Robex to give the equity on the plants. But in any case, because we can only generate in Bloemfontein 45 tons of plastic, the whole idea is to roll it out to the platteland. And I come from Bernardsrust, so my father stays there. So then we can create work in the platteland. In each of the small towns, the more plastic you can work more than 90 tons. But if we can actually create work in the platteland where they can generate the plastic, because it goes diesel and it goes paraffin. And the plant repays itself the plant itself is 150 million, but it repays itself in 3.5 years if you get 90 tons of plastic a month. And after that, that profit can be pushed back into the community. And the whole idea is to get the community on a token system where tokens will be issued, and then they can get food and clothes or medical aid from different centers instead of money, because money creates the problem with alcohol and drugs, where they can actually go and, with their token, go and get either clothes or medical help or food. So that is the bigger dream that we are busy with.
That's amazing. I find it so interesting in the last few weeks. You've had all this rhetoric online, and you've got these great speakers, these great orators telling what they are going to do or what they did, etc. And then you've got Boeta just sharing, so we've got the proefplaas, we've got the lease, we want to turn plastic into diesel. I'm thinking that is a miracle. I'm pretty sure it's almost in the Bible, slightly differently. We're employing almost 100 people through this factory, and I'm just thinking this should be the story that everybody must be hearing. So at least we've got one journalist here, but we can't just outsource it to the media. It is our responsibility to, when you're standing next to the braaivleis and people say, this country is going to this, or this province, or this city. He says, well, have you heard of Anchor of Hope? Let me tell you some of what they are doing. So, Boeta, it is incredibly inspiring. It is really incredibly inspiring what you guys are doing. And I really hope that there can be, that the message can come out and that you guys can continue to grow. Maybe just very briefly, just give me, did you just wake up one day and said, I really want to employ a lot of people, and I want a shelter, and I want this, and I want to turn diesel into plastic, or vice versa? What's the motivation behind it?
Well, me and my family, about 16 years back, 17 years back, I had a very bad past. And God saved me, first of all, and then He brought my family together again. And for that, I promised God, I will give everything back to His people, to the community, and to help wherever I can. I will assist people to get back on their feet like God helped me.
Sure. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, Boeta.